Very much, gentlemen of the press. What we have presented before you this morning should be very worrisome. Worrisome to the extent that this country is at risk of being mocked, at risk of being isolated in the Committee of Nations. We have a president who has gone everywhere seeking, appealing for investors, appealing for cooperation. There is no investor, honestly so, who would want to invest in a country that does not respect her own laws, let alone the constitution of that country. If our judiciary is so dragged into legalizing illegalities, there is a very huge concern. Mr. President and his advisors, his economic team, should rise up. They should see this as a clarion call to save this country, Nigeria. There is always a time for governance and also a time for politics. This is the time for governance and not politics. On the streets of Rivers State, the Rivers people are united behind the governor that they elected. The Rivers people are united in rejecting the illegal members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, former. Therefore, it should not be heard, neither should it be seen, that there are persons using authorities of governance to perpetuate illegality in Rivers State. We should also be aware that the peace of this country revolves around the peace of every entity, therefore. If, for whatever gains, for whatever reason, people are encouraged to mess with the peace of Rivers State, I do not know how that will affect the other components. As members of the People's Democratic Party, there are precedents, and that is what we have stated. Damagum should not continue. He should cede that position to the area that it rightly belongs to. The rains have come too early, but rather than raise our hands and complain, we will use the rains to water our fields, and the yield would be very bounteous. The ruling party should, as a matter of necessity, allow dissenting voices so that they can guard them, so that they can encourage them to do better than what they are doing today. We all are aware of the hardship. It knows no color, it knows no party. They should not continue to encourage this brigandage, this rascality. It is our opinion that Mr. President will do the needful. It is our opinion that the judiciary should also stand up to protect its integrity. The National Judicial Council should be alive to its responsibility to discipline whoever wants to bring disrespect to that revered arm of government.
Gentlemen of the press, as my colleagues have rightly said, we are calling on the governors of the People's Democratic Party because all of us, the lawmakers elected on the platform of PDP, are saying the same thing. Damagum should please exit and allow the North Central to take back their rightful position, because it is not going to be extended by the time it expires in the next 2 years. Secondly, you cannot change the rule of the game in the center of the game or when the game is about to be over. The chairmen whose tenure about to expire in Rivers were elected by the people of Rivers State. They were not elected by the courts. And they were elected on terms, and they were sworn in with a definite term lag, which is 3 years, I'm sure. So please, we are begging the judiciary not to cause chaos in Rivers. The right thing should be done. Thank you, gentlemen of the press.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Just to add to some of what my colleagues have already said, there is no country that practices democracy that can work without a formidable, effective, and efficient opposition. And that is why, as opposition lawmakers, coalitions, we are here to revive and ensure that the opposition wake up and stand for its role, for its role to play as an opposition. We cannot continue the way the opposition have been. And you will agree with me today that a lot of reformation is taking place by the ruling party. For some of us that are here, that are very progressive in nature, have agreed to some of this reformation, but the timing of this reformation, I think it is not coming to Nigeria with the ease that is expected. For example, the removal of the fuel subsidy have put a lot of hardship of Nigerians. Go to all the nooks and crannies, you see our people biting their fingers, even for what to eat. And today we wake up, there's also removal of subsidy on the electric tariff. Democracy is for the people. We cannot continue without consultation and the right timing of reformations. PDP, as an opposition party, we are calling as an opposition lawmakers. That is our role, to come up and provide solution. We are not here to lament or to murmur. We are here to provide an alternative. We are here to say that the opposition have to wake up, stand to its role, and play its role as an opposition, and make Nigerians benefit from the dividends of democracy. Thank you.
Any question? First of all, I don't think anybody made comment about asking the president to intervene in the internal issues that has to do with the PDP. The issue that was raised here was about those who are trying to undermine the judiciary and create a situation that will lead to constitutional crisis. That was where we now said the president, both the president, the NJC, and other key stakeholders should get involved. And then coming to the first question, there is no division here. Maybe you did not listen carefully. This was a gathering of opposition lawmakers coalition, which is a group that stretches across different political parties. But the people speaking here today are the PDP aspect of it. And because there's an internal issue that happened in our party. And then talking about internal options, all internal options have been exhausted. These conversations have been ongoing for a very long time. Some of you have been following it. I have been listening to the rhetorics that have been happening across all parts of the country, where people have taken up arms against their own party and saying they will destroy the party. We have appealed to the party leadership over time internally to allow the due process to follow. And what is this due process? The constitution of our party made it expressly clear that whenever there's a vacancy, the zone from which the officer originated from will present a replacement to act pending the conduct of a substantive convention. And it's getting to almost 1 year. And then the deputy chairman has been in office. And not only that, this has gone from bad to worse. And while we're talking about Rivers also, is a place where also our party have come under the biggest internal attack, and we have been able to identify that there's internal collaboration with the outsiders who are after our party. And there's also a constitutional violation of people leaving the party upon which they were elected when there was no internal division. And at the same time, even when there's orders of court, are now going about making laws in one bedroom, and this can lead to breakdown of law and order. More importantly, amending the local government law and saying that somebody that is elected whose tenure have expired can stay in office should worry every Nigerian. It means that somebody can even propose such a law at the national level. So it's a constitutional issue that we must also address, and which is also very important. And also, if he refuses to resign, like we said, we have been discussing and consulting. See, the whole of yesterday night, we were having meetings with our members. Legal option is also part of it. These issues have been decided in the past. It's not the first time these issues are coming up. That if he refuses to take that part of honor, and if the NEC refuses at the NEC meeting to take that decisive action, then definitely what will happen is that we'll take the legal option to ensure that we'll get him out of office so that the people of North Central can take back their job and complete the remaining tenure. And also, it's very important to understand that we have also tried among ourselves to build stronger unity, and that is also working out. People may have some allegiances which may make them not to be effective in defending the party they belong to, but some of us here, and the over 60 of us, we are committed in doing that. Before we came on board, put ourselves together and started coming out, most of the issues that have happened in the party, we've also talked about them. Even when the issue of the burning of the House of Assembly also happened, we also talked about it. And just like he said, he spoke just briefly now about the issue of the electricity tariff, and yesterday that what we decided was that we understand that yes, at the rates the companies are operating, they are not making profit. But we must also consider the fact that there have not been much improvement in the finance of Nigerian people. That most of these things can be implemented in phases. That was our decision yesterday, because we're going to brief on that on a later date also. So we're standing 100% with Nigerian people, and in the days ahead, we'll continue to push that frontiers of effective opposition and engagement of our people. And he talked about people visiting people across the country. Yes, there have been conversations across all parts of the country, which involves most of the opposition lawmakers. There's conversations of rejigging the party. There's conversations of building a broader coalition. There's conversation of mergers. There's different conversations going on, but we cannot speak on that because we have not gotten to a tangible position where we can talk about those movements across different parts of the country. Thank you.
So, sir, please, to wrap it up, we want you to know your position on the impeachment of the deputy governor of Lagos State.
Well, while we're working in here, we got to hear about the impeachment